So what we have is we've met with every single property owner. We've taken them a deed.
More than just once, too.
More than once with a few. We've taken each of them a deed if they've had deed property, or a different deed if we're giving them property back, or and we've gotten a temporary construction easement from them and a public utility easement from them. So there's three. Some of them get 3 documents, some get 2, some get 4. And this map shows who signed, who said they'll sign. We just haven't had a chance to meet up with them to get it signed because we have to have a notary with us. We have to go to their house at 6 or 9. And then we have 2 property owners that have not signed and are giving us a little bit of a tough time. So a little bit later this evening, we will discuss those 2 property owners and options for those properties.
It's under property acquisition, closed meeting application.
Yep. And so those ones are acquisition items we want to talk to. I've got a couple of options I want to talk through. And then one last update is the Scenic Mountain project. It goes from 7300 West down about 120 feet, 150 feet down McHouston Avenue. They are constructing the full width improvements that we've had designed for along their development. So they will be constructing that. It's actually under construction right now. We'll be working with them to get those added in. And then, so if this project ends up going ahead, which we hope, we're thinking will be there. So here's the graphic we wanted to show. So you can see the blue area, I guess it's blue, on the far left. That's the part that will be paved and completed. And we'll give the house that's on the north side their driveway. And that'll actually wrap around their house for stormwater purposes, because that development goes up to the north of that house and actually halfway, a little bit past halfway up along there. So you can see the red parcels. Right there is the one we'll talk about later, and right there is the one we'll talk about later. This one has agreed to sign. Just haven't had a chance to catch up with him, and this one has agreed to sign. He just wanted the letter that said he'd never have to pay for these improvements in the future that he'd come back. So I wrote that letter and just haven't got a call back to go out and get that signature back. But everyone's been really good to work with, though. It's been fairly pleasant meetings, all of them. Yeah. And actually, there's some really, really good people to work with us that really want this paved and really want it to happen and are very thankful. But we're going to talk a little bit later about those red properties. Any questions?
Not now.
Not now. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. 3.9 Park Ordinance Update. Wendy.
So much fun. Okay, we talked about this on January 24th, and then it kind of went wayside because I was out of town and there was a lot of other things going on. So we're bringing it back now to try to get some final thoughts before John and I put the final ordinance together. I included some of the updates that we had made. Are there any additional questions or concerns? We can
I do.
run through some of them. Okay.
I don't know what page it is on your thing, but it's on 95 on my packet. But it's under additional Harriman open space permitted Charleston urban trail facility general rules and regulations. Number C says motorized vehicles are not permitted in a Harriman open space or on trails. I think that needs to say except in permitted areas, because that way we don't have to come back in and change the ordinance when we move forward with any trails that will allow motorized vehicles. It'll already be in there allowing it.
If we do that though, will that be used as an excuse by people to take motorized vehicles on our open space?
Well,
I'm sorry, what was that?
So Sherry made the comment that we may want to adjust the code saying that we can say motorized be in permitted areas. My concern, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea, my concern is that somebody might use that as a reason to say that, you know, well, where's permitted? You say it's permitted. You know, I assume this was permitted, and try to get away with using their motorized vehicles on our.
So if we were to issue him a citation, would that be a defense? Is that
really, how is it?
if it's not permitted, then we would issue a citation. That would be that. I don't see it as an issue.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we would just mark the
We would
trail
just limit
system,
it by
yeah,
signs.
by signage.
I just
Sign,
think
it'll
it's
be on
important.
maps, it'll be on several locations, find where it's permitted, not permitted.
Cause I think,
That's a good point.
I
too.
do feel like, and I think that we've committed to the residents that we want to move forward with some of those motorized trails. The question is where and how, where it makes sense, but let's just, when we're adopting a new ordinance, make sure we don't prohibit it and have to go in and fix it
We
anyway.
get a trails update on some trails, update, some of the residents, that's what we're concerned, there's too many people who are motorized and started, the council don't want to be motorized.
Right,
So we're gonna decide not allowed.
yeah.
So I'm good with it. That'd be fine. Yeah. We just work on our signage.
We took out, there was some discussion the last time we met about the times for trails being open and closed, and the feeling that I got from council was you were not interested in setting times at this time, treat them like a public sidewalk and not have those times, so we removed that. John and I wrestled a little bit about skate park, not too much, but I won. And we're gonna go.
She works out.
We're gonna go from 9 a.m. to dusk for skate park hours, just so you know that, if that's okay with you.
On here it says 7 and 5.
Yeah, that's been
So we're gonna
changed.
change it?
Mhm. Is that acceptable? What's dusk, chief?
It's whatever Google says.
Yeah, so
It's-
it's vague.
I don't see it any different than a headlight citation. That changes daily too.
Is there anything else?
So far, all of mine.
Oh.
Oh, that's good.
You what?
How many have you
Does it?
written? Won the game.
How many have I written? Probably, I would say in 30 years, 20 or 25.
Any of them before a jury?
No, but I had good prosecutors.
Okay, going on. Park ordinance. Are there
Try
any
the
other
defense
questions or
side.
concerns or things you would like to see added
Mike,
or
yeah.
removed before we present a final draft in the next time work meeting?
I know
And
we
then bring
talked
it back.
about, and I'm trying to remember, I read through it, I'm trying to remember, we talked about fireworks and making it just really explicit that it's not allowed, we got that in there.
It is explicit, and then fire will be bringing back the firework restriction laws. I believe it's next council meeting,
next meeting.
so.
No call.
No what? No golfing, sorry, no golfing. Unless you wanna put it in a golf course.
Yes.
No, I heard
Yes.
both.
I'll have South Jordan do that.
All right, I
They're already
wanted to
running
take
one.
a minute to update you. We have a lot of projects going on, and I'm so grateful for engineering's help. Jonathan has been wonderful to work with on all these projects, and Heidi, our landscape architect, and Jory has been very helpful as far as the trails. Otherwise, I would probably be in an insane asylum right now. So, first thing I wanted to let you know, if you didn't know already, we finally got our signs up for the Crane History Walk. So they're all up, and we're really excited to see them go in. They look really nice.
It's fantastic,
That's a big feat.
because that was on my list to go after, and I'm like, this is supposed to be done when
It
we open
has
this
been
place.
Right.
so painful. So I am very happy to say it's done. Almost. We have one to fix, but we're getting there. So we're excited about that. These are all the projects that we have either going on right now or happening in the very near future. And this is just park projects and trail projects, so you can see we're really spread out all over the city. We have a lot of projects in different areas, which is good. And they're really fun and exciting projects, of course they are. So the first is Harriman Boulevard Landscaping and what we're calling the Shark Fin Detention Basin. And the reason why we're calling it Shark Fin is because it looks like shark fin. So this project is funded, they're already under construction. We think they'll be done by the end of June. It's going to make that street look amazing. We're really excited about that.
Okay, across from the contaminated.
Yes,
right?
yep. The Shark Fin Park will just be grass and trees and an asphalt walking path that will connect with the other sidewalks and asphalt walking paths in that area.
Did you see that picture where you saw the neighbor dumping debris out?
No,
on this, yeah, like got a picture of
I
that.
didn't see
It
that.
was a Sunday afternoon drive,
Just
Has
over.
Gaten
Caught some
Sharp,
illegal
Sharp
things
Rapid, Sharp.
Oh,
Simeon's on it.
okay.
Nice.
Good job.
Is that gonna be flat enough that we can have
So there,
Little League practice or something there?
there is a detention basin there. We are able to reduce it a little bit, from my understanding, Blake. You wanna talk about that?
Yeah, I think even with the size, Little League would be a little hard, like T-ball maybe, but yeah.
You know,
You
might
can go
get
kick,
over-
you can go
everyone's
kick the
desperate.
soccer
I
ball.
mean, if you put any parking in there at all, you've got like a standalone little playground maybe. Without, it's big enough for ball fields at all.
But it will look green and inviting and pretty.
But practice, alright.
The neighbors could
Yeah,
go out there and
you-
kick a ball around
You
or
can-
throw a
right,
frisbee.
You can run a small little,
You go out and play catch or whatever, but.
I know they're desperate, so maybe we can.
and they will use it, they're looking for every piece of grass they can
Yeah.
find.
Yes.
I would say we need grass.
So the next project that is imminent this year is Creek Ridge Park, which is approximately 6,600 west and 127th south. It's over in the new Creek Ridge West area, just west of Heritage Place. It's a smaller park, just under 2 acres. And the developer and city are kind of collaborating on this together. Our portion of it is really the poured in place surfacing as part of the playground. The developer was gonna put in bark mulch, and we prefer for our playgrounds to now have the poured in place to allow better accessibility. And it's just cleaner, it just makes sense with all of our wind.
Is that something we need to update in our code?
We're working on our standards right now, and it is something that we can look at putting in there.
Yeah, that
With
would
our
make sense,
consultant.
'cause
Yeah, but that's where the developer will push back, cause that is an enrichment. Cause soft mulch actually solves the problem, and it's
And it's
used all
easier
over.
for them.
It's just,
It only
hard
requires a
maintenance.
minimum.
It's never where you put it.
This kind of gives you the layout of the playground. It'll be, Edge is building the playground, and so it's a very Edge-specific product. Looks like the other Edge products that are, playground products that are out here. So that is that one. Are there any questions on that?
I'm ready to go slide.
The next one is one we're calling L&L Hamilton Park, that was previously called Juniper Estates Park. This part, the reason why we changed the name is because we're really trying to reserve the Juniper Canyon stuff specific to that area now and not get it confused with somewhere else. And because they're so far removed, it didn't make sense. This is right off of Rose Canyon Road and about 135th South. Right now, it's just an empty field. There's a detention basin there. And Ivory Homes is building this project.
And you can get soccer field.
Yes. We have been working, collaborating very closely with Ivory Homes on this project. And it is a developer-city grant partnership, so we're applying for a grant for an all-inclusive playground to be located in this area. That's been a big request from a lot of our residents. And so we'll know more about that in the next 2 weeks as to whether we get that funding or not. Our city contribution, if approved, is listed below there, $72,000 for poured in place. It is, because it's an inclusive playground, it is a larger footprint. A restroom and pavilion, $200,000 estimate, that's probably a little high. And then, playground upgrade portion. So the playgrounds, if we get the grant, is about $160,000. Ivory Homes is pledging to contribute part of that, the grant will contribute part of that, and then we'll contribute part of that. So, that's kind of where we're at with this one.
How big will that playground be roughly?
It is.
Like compared to the one we have just outside here?
I wanna say it's 33,000 square feet, 4,000 square feet.
It's all parking pack fee.
Yes, that would all be park and pack fee eligible. Ivory's been really good to work with on this project, and it's exciting. We don't have to do the restroom and pavilion now, we would like it stubbed now as part of the construction for future consideration. So this gives you an idea of what it looks like. It's a fairly large capacity detention basin.
It's 80 by 50.
So I have a question, why would we not do it now?
We can do it now, it depends on how much money you wanna give us, so.
Was that Was that an ask there? Is that
Well,
a
there
nudge,
is actually
nudge?
an ask in the budget, so
I just wonder why we would delay it.
we don't have to. And it's a similar structure to what we're putting in at Prairie Oaks, where it's the bathroom and pavilion combined together into one.
Okay, when you say you don't have to, we budgeted every dollar we thought we could do in March, so if you had something.
It's in there.
Okay,
but they don't
you're
have to
talking
approve it.
about adding,
Oh, no, it's in,
Okay.
it's in the proposed,
okay.
but you don't have to approve it.
Yeah.
Right.
If-
Sorry,
if you
Alan.
add
So you
anything,
did, so
then
the way
it
you just
counts.
presented it
That's why I love
is
Alan.
in the budget, or is
Yes,
budgeted for.
it's
I just,
So-
I just wonder why we would go back and have to do it again.
The accessible portion of the park, the playground, is that square up at the top?
Yes, yes, the bigger one, let me show you, so there you go.
Okay, thank you.
That shows you the layout. Now, something that you'll wanna know about this project is the road that's indicated on the north is not there right now. That's a future road, a future development. So our preference is not to have the entrance and exit on 6400 West, but right now, it's the only option that we have for this project. When that road is built, we'll take that entrance and exit away and move the entrance and exit over onto the new road. And the playground colors will not be those colors, but that gives you an idea of
Good.
what it looks like, yeah, it won't be that bright. We'll have some nice shade and be a lot of fun. There'll be swings there as well and another riding feature. Are there any more questions on L&L? There'll be a little historic component to this park as well, for the Hamilton family that settled a lot of land out here, so we'll work with them to get
And
some
it is-
information from them.
Everyone still has property to the north of that.
Wendy,
Yes, sir?
when you say that when you are able to move the entrance to that parking area, will that change how many parking stalls you have in there? Or will you reconfigure such that you'll keep that same amount of parking stalls?
It looks like we're gonna lose a few.
I think we'll be able to relocate them down to the other end, cause you'll close off that end and you park a
Just
couple down
extend
there.
it down.
So I think it's a no loss at the end of the day.
Okay.
Big Bend is in design. It is slated to be completed this fall. It's in the Anthem Park area. It is, if you're driving on Anthem Park, it's to the west. There's Little Yukon Park down in that little detention basin. It's just west of that along the Midas Creek Trail that we'll be going in. It's a very small park.
See, I don't know that this classifies as a park.
I know it doesn't.
Put in a bench.
But it is a very big playground. So
It's a big playground.
that's a big playground. So we're still working with the developer on this and trying to figure out some things. This is kind of gives you the location. Anthem Park is here on the east, and then Midas Creek is what you see there, and you can see how small it is really in relation. They do have some green space on the side and at the entrance, but other than that, that's really, that along with Midas Creek is really it for green space in
It's
this
gonna be
area.
all playground.
And that gives you the layout of the playground that has been proposed by the developer. And it's fairly good looking. I like it. Any questions on that one? Okay, cemetery restroom facility. The design is completed. It has not gone through the planning commission process. Construction is not funded. It may be, did it get in the capital projects or no, not yet? Okay, it's not in the capital projects yet.
Nope. This was the first item out
Yes.
on the priorities.
So if funding is approved, which it may not be this year, it may be another year. We've got at least the design done. The project would take about 4 months, and you can see the current estimates. Brett and I keep going back and forth on the location. Right now, it's planned by the storage facility in the cemetery. Brett wants it in the park. So
I would agree with Brad.
we keep going back and forth. So.
I'm wrestling for it after.
She beat
I
John.
can outdo John.
So there's a lot of further discussion to have on this one.
I just don't wanna see everybody go through the cemetery to use the restroom.
That's true, but then it's removed from the original intention of the
People
restroom
in the
facility.
cemetery don't use it.
put in the next.
So
that's
that's
what
a
I say.
continuing discussion that I'm sure we will have later.
Yes.
People in the park can go
I'll get
across
some
there.
resident input.
Alright.
By the park,
Wow.
for sure. Cause
Wow.
the people at the cemetery
Well, we
will
have to
find
put
it.
it on the gate side, on the outside of the cemetery. It has to be in the park side. Alright.
Plus, I also, I'm concerned about when we tear up Heron Boulevard for sewer.
That's my concern.
Well, from
I'm gonna tear up
there
the road.
south, it's all torn up anyway. I feel like I need a new suspension.
Let's not go there, suspension.
Okay, so you might see this again, you might not.
Notice your term is muddy. You see, we're still debating, so.
Rose Creek
We'll
Trail.
find money, that's high on the priority list.
Rose Creek Trail, you all should be fairly familiar with this. Conditional use approval was granted on May 7th of 2018, not 19. Sorry. Design is being finished. We're planning on going to bid for construction in May. Construction process likely to begin in the summer, and it's got money from the county, so we're moving forward on that one. Planning Commission approved the bridges last month, so. Maybe it was supposed to be March 7th. It was supposed to be March 7th, not May 7th. Midas Creek, same story. It's exactly, we're gonna do them at the same time and move those out. There we are with that.
A lot of people talking about this one.
It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Monteville Shoreline, it is being cut right now. Planning Commission originally approved this November 15th. We went back to them last week because there were some changes in the alignments. Those were also approved. The contractor has already started construction. He started last week after we got that approval. And this is completely funded from the county through an interlocal agreement. The section that we are doing is from Diamondback over to where the future White Hollow Trailhead will be. And this is the change in alignment, just so you know, that was approved. The contractor has been contacting me with concerns that people are, even though he's in construction and people shouldn't be on the trails anyway because of the weather conditions, there are still people coming up there on bikes and horses and ATVs and motorcycles. And so we would like to block off as much as we can for access purposes right now. So we may get some grumbling about us blocking people's access off to this area.
Especially the motorized stuff.
It's a safety issue though, so.
Motorized guys just tear out your blockade.
I know, we'll do what we can.
I lost 30.
It's hard to block any because of foot trail,
Mhm.
horse trail, you just walk
Just
around.
tear it
it
down.
all.
Walk around.
All right, we're almost done. Hardwick Downhill Trails were approved April 4th. Trails Utah and Harriman Hills Trail Alliance are funding this project. And the contractor's been hired, and he's finishing a project in Draper, so he'll probably be on site in a couple weeks to get that one going.
As soon as the weather improves.
Yeah, assuming the weather improves. So that's what those look like, and people are really excited about this too. Whoops, now Arches, sorry. So Arches is running a little behind. Arches is over in the Amden Park area. These are some of our totem poles for our hammock and slackline area. They're really fun. I think they're gonna be a really big social media draw. I think people are going to be there taking pictures and enjoying the different art. So we're hoping to open this one in midsummer 2019. We'll have a big party. Prairie Oaks, we've got Planning Commission approval on that one in September. Notice to proceed has been given. Work will be completed by the end of the summer. And Jonathan and Heidi were here last time. I was at a conference, I think, when they were here, and they presented Juniper Canyon. We had our open house. It was very well received. Quite a few people showed up to offer their comments and suggestions. Very excited about what was presented. Our next steps that we have identified is the phasing and funding plan, doing a traffic impact study on Juniper Crest Trail Road, or whatever that's called. Juniper Trail Road. And then working on getting some plans together for construction documents. So that's kind of where we're at. Lots going on. Any questions or concerns?
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
Well done.
Excuse me. Alright, so that was 3.9 and 3.10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that moves us on to city manager updates.
Yeah, I only have two, I believe, unless someone folks have me tell me got something more. Mary, you brought a little bit of a concern about are we getting our staffing levels up on policing, but we focus on many different things in the city. You can imagine 1,000 different things to make sure we're staying ahead of our time. We knew we went into this building and our plan for this building and how we filled out and fill us up. Well, we're pretty full. As you know, you gave up your offices. And we can't see a day when you might have them back yet. But they're appreciable. Everything's moving along just fine. But we are out of space. So the plan right now, we were tasked by council to do a study on a public safety impact fee. And that has come back and made a recommendation, but I think the next steps before actually council sees the whole study and all that, we wanted to talk to the homeowner association, like we've done on other impacts, to get their buy-in. We found this has been very advantageous for the city to do this. I remember the one, when we adopted the impact fee, he said, well, we still don't like impact fees, but this was done very well and we're very collaborative with the city, so I want to make sure they're very involved in the analysis before you ever approve anything and get their chance to have some input, okay? We always like more, but we want to get that going pretty quick because the further long we wait before we start collecting it, it starts taking that funding mechanism away for us to build our public safety building. As directed by council on November 9th, we have actually started the process, and we won't get into that probably until after next fiscal year as you close the budget for, to get a size, they call it seismic of a requirement, what space and need we need for our public safety building. We've kind of done that already, and then we'll start figuring out what a timeline we can design. The team that we have going on that is Monty and Justin and Jim Carr and Alan and myself, and we'll involve other people as needed. We have toured, can I say just half a dozen for record, different public safety facilities.
We went to a couple of junior high schools.
Okay, there you go. You've got some strong opinions, but we went to West Iowa, Heber last week. There's some good takeaways, because when you're building your house, you wish you could rebuild it. Well, we only get one shot at these things. And we want to do it appropriately. We've had an architect with us, working with us, and taking our notes on our concerns and how we make it network and how we make it fit our town center, our community. So we're a little ways away from giving you a timeline when we may be looking at getting out to construction, because it'll take probably, I would guess, a year to get a full set of plans at least. And then as we keep running out of space too, so it's never, but I said we would not move forward until we have a full set of plans that our team can actually review in detail. We have a very skilled set of people here, and I think we can catch some things that we would we'd like to not miss even on this building. We have a beautiful building that works very well, but here again, that wall plug would have been put in a different place. We would have had a chance to look at that review a little longer. Anyway, so I wanted to just update you on that. You got any concern where we're going with that? We've been following your direction. Nothing's imposed yet. I want to make sure we work with our stakeholders, so we bring them along. And I said the homeowner associations are first number one on the docket, to get with them and make them feel comfortable about things. They still won't like it though.
I'm not concerned about the plans or timeline or anything other than just getting the fee study done and getting it started, because every day we're having new impacts coming in.
Every house is gonna have
and eventually, believe it or not, will be built out. And we need to collect that money because we're working on so many other projects. We're not gonna bond for it. We don't have extra room to do that sort of thing. We need to collect as much as we can up front, because we have like 6 years to use it from the time we collect it.
And even when we get the impact fee all cleared up and get in front of you to where you adopt it, we're still not ready for construction, we're a long ways away from that, I shouldn't say long, I don't want people panicking, because they're.
I will.
But
So,
they
I
will
mean, that's
panic
gotta
by
be several
time.
years to do it.
So, just wanted to update you on that, and then I want Michael to take a moment and update you on some planning commission matters.
Yes, we, our alternate planning commissioners need to be reappointed every year, and our regular commission members serve for 3 years. Coming up in June, we will have 3 commissioners that need to be reappointed. Chris Berbert, who's currently serving as our chair, Andrea Bradford, who was moved from an alternate member to a regular commission member last year, but was filling a previous term. And then Lauren Palmer, who is currently an alternate, we'd like to propose that he be made a regular member of the planning commission. So what we're just simply asking is, if you have any questions or feedback in any of those 3 commission members, just coordinate that through Brett, and we'll be planning on preparing any reappointments probably in the May meeting. May or June.
Our preference is, these planning commissioners are starting to be valued and a little bit understanding of ordinances, state law, and everything they have to comply with, so, it seems odd that we reappoint, but there is value in that institutional knowledge they gain through their time, and that's why Lauren will be a good asset to the commission as well.
And Chris Berbert, as chair, has been really bringing a lot of energy to the commission,
Yes,
and questions and
And I will back that up. You don't want to lose these people. They're been very valuable.
I've got kind of a good core there that we need to keep together.
So that nods here, and I don't know, Clint, Clint, did you hear all that?
Yes, I did. I'm good with it.
I knew you were. You'd already emailed me, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay.
We have enough topics.
All right, and we will move into our, I will accept a motion to temporarily suspend our work meeting and go into closed session.
What for?
Well, they have to make the motion, so.
Okay, make a motion to temporarily recess the city council meeting to convene in closed session for the purpose of discussing pending or reasonable imminent litigation and the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property as provided by Utah Code annotated 52-4-205.
Second.
Motion is second. Clint?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jared?
Yep.
And I'll vote yes. We move into closed session. Thank you.